Shalom, Shabbat Shalom to the fam. What's up, y'all? All praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, man. We back, made it back. Uh, to another Shabbat, man. Glad to see everybody's in the house or coming on in slowly but surely. Yes, surprise, surprise. Shalom, brother Ron. Yeah, man, they had us down for the count. YouTube was trying to X us out of here, man. They still trying. But while we still got a voice here, man, we still gonna keep rocking, man. They done had us down on a couple of different methods, man, for damn near a month now, man. So all praise to the Most High, man. We back at full strength and ready to go, ready to go, man. Shalom, brother Karatazar. Shalom, Mike. Shalom, the family. Shalom, shalom. Shalom to Diz the Wiz. Shalom to you, my sister. Shabbat shalom. Koaf. Shalom to you, good brother. All praises, honor, and glory to the Most High. Why Yahweh Shai, man? Yes, yes, yes. DSTM 178. We back. All praises, man. Shoot. It seems like, man, ever since they done, you know, touched our progress with these channels, it seems like it's been a long time since I connected with brothers and sisters. Even though we did DSTM last week on my channel, but the messenger channel hasn't had no action in a while. So they even they said it was 2 weeks, man. They really did down there 3. I don't know what type of games YouTube be playing, man. But it is what it is. It is what it is. So I do have to be, I got to walk on some eggshells. I got to play it safe. So some topics I'm not gonna, touch on, or we got to play see how the spirit moves. We're gonna figure it out though, man. Hopefully y'all wiped your feet, man, at the water. Now more remind brothers and sisters, man, wipe them feet when you come on in here, man. Now come on in here with your dirty feet, your dirty sandals, your mud-ridden boots, or your stained-up high heels. You come on in here, clean feet, wipe them off, man. Hit the like button. Got to get this algorithm kicking, man. YouTube does this, man. So for the family that's coming on there, man, wipe your feet. If you're watching this later, you didn't catch it live, wipe your feet, man. Hit the like button. Hit the like or hit the dislike. I don't care. Either way, a reaction to the video lets the algorithms know, oh, it's time to go ahead on and get busy. It's time to go ahead on and get busy. Let's help the video get some traction. That's what happens. The algorithm says, oh, likes, dislikes, doesn't matter. They see that there's action happening, and they say, well, we're gonna go ahead on and boost up the crime rate that these jakes are over here doing. You dig what I'm saying? Your guy Shalom, Mike. What's going on, bro? Shabbat Shalom. Rosemary, it's nice to be back, my sister. Nice to be back. All praises. They was trying to lock us down, trying to boot us up off of here, but we had to be patient and do like Public Enemy said, fight the power. we're gonna keep it going. Shalom, all right? What's going on, my brother? I know we just chopped it up a little bit earlier, man. The Quab in the house. Yeah, the dirty stilettos and the dirty red bottoms, man. Don't come on in here with them things. Take them off, wipe your feet, show some respect. All right? All praises, man. Bayan Shakal in the house. Shalom to you and the family, man. Hopefully everybody's well that's in the house, man. Come on in. Come on in. Last 7 days I've been cooking. Got a nice warm meal for y'all, man. We're going to eat today. That's a fact. That is a fact. Yeah, slide on in. Shalom to the family at the house of Elkanah, man. My family down in Jacksonville, man. Shalom to y'all, man. Shabbat shalom. I pray everybody's well, man. Seems like it's been a minute. But nonetheless, we're gonna get right and exact, man. So let's go ahead on and get started, man. We're gonna open up with a few scriptures. You see the title as World War III started. Has it started? You're gonna get some various talking head opinions about what's going on and whatnot. We're gonna look at a lot of information today. We're gonna look at a lot of these these current events, and we're gonna relegate them to the scriptures, and we're gonna put it all together. Whether or not it started, we're gonna find out. Because as it stands right now, the answer is yes. I don't give a damn what anybody's talking about. It has begun. Has it broken out to in a global worldwide scale yet? It's getting there, and it will get there. We're gonna see. But now's the time, brothers and sisters. If you haven't started taking your walk serious enough yet, now is the time. Trust and believe. Trust and believe. Shalak, what's good, my brother? Shabbat shalom, man. Shabbat shalom, man. All right. So, as usual, man, let's set the precedence with a couple scriptures. It'd be nice if I was sharing too, huh? There we go. All right. We're gonna open up in Matthew. Matthew 24. Famous prophetic verse spoken by our Lord and Savior, Mashiach Yahushua. Let's go to verse 37. Oops. Okay, so Matthew 24:37 says, "But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be." Verse 38, "For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage until the day that Noah entered the ark." So Yahushua is giving us clear understanding and knowing when we should be expecting what. Let's go to the top of the verse. Let's go to the top. I don't know why my computer is tripping, moving slow like this. Hold on, y'all. What is going on? Slacky, y'all. Hold on, let me stop sharing because something's going on my computer. As usual, you know how I go. Satan and the folly. This thing is tripping, man. What is going on? Let's try it again. Let's try it again, man. Now these demons move, man. As soon as we get a green light to get back on, here comes Satan creeping around the corner saying, "Oh, you back? Oh, you want to go live? Oh, I'm coming in. I want to come too." And wants to kind of disrupt the spirit, man. We ain't let him do that. Let's stick with the script, man. All right. So let's read verse 3, 24 and verse 3. The disciples was asking Yahweh this. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, I'm sharing. Okay, I want to make sure I was sharing. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, "Tell us, when shall these things be, and what shall be the sign of thy coming and the end of the world?" So notice they said this privately. This was a private council. This wasn't knowledge and information that everybody was going to be privy to. Everybody understood and knew what to expect. They went to him privately, right? And one of the things he told them, verse 37, he said, "But as the days of Noah were, so shall the coming of the Son of Man be. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage until the day that Noah entered into the ark." So everybody was living carefree. Everybody was out there doing, as Drake would say, living YOLO. You only live once, right? Everybody's out there doing what they want to do. They're partying, they're drinking, they're out there, getting giving themselves into marriage, and even lawfully, we know that consummations of marriages is done through sex. So obviously, we're seeing sexual activity, fornication, and lascivious activity going wild in the world right now. From you got Gabrielle Union running around talking about how she felt entitled to cheat on her husband because she was paying the bills. Now, what type of precedence does that set for other young women? You know what I'm saying? What type of precedence do they set when you have, some of these female starlets that's out there talking about living through their whole phases, as if that's a stage that every female is supposed to engage in. You got men that's out there that's just out here running around going. You mean you got these cats, man, out here? There's some group of brothers. They call it I was gonna call them the travel bros, passport bros. I guess it's like a some little, I don't know if it's a YouTube group, Facebook group, whatever, but it's a conglomerate of brothers, man, who travel the world and they show their exploits in different countries, their engagements with different women or whatnot. This is what the spirit of the Lord is putting out there, and we're seeing it manifest in our faces, man. Pedophilia running wild. You understand? Um, Everybody's out there living carefree. So not paying attention to what's going on earth. They could have broke pockets. You could have, I mean, from inflation to the food crisis to the pestilence and the plagues to the earthquakes to the wars to the rumors of wars to the mass violence and the heinous crimes that's going on the earth. They still run around here acting like everything is great and they living in their kingdom right now. But what else was happening during the days of Noah? Let's go back and let's find out. We're going to go to Genesis. So Yahweh Shai said, one of the things we got to pay attention to is whatever was going on during the times of Noah, we should expect the same. Same way that the men of the Lord are out there prophesying the downfall of Babylon and the downfall of the enemies of the Lord and the enemies of Israel, that the chosen children of Israel are going to wake up, the elect is going to be sealed, we're going to be delivered, we're going to escape through chariots, so forth and so on. We're looked at as crazy. We're looked at as extremists. We're looked at as a danger to the community, so forth and so on, right? So everything that we talk about prophetically, they say, "Oh, no, stay away from those guys. They're crazy." Well, what was they telling Noah? Noah, what? Rain, flooding? We're all gonna die? Are you crazy? There hasn't been a flood here in who knows how long. We're over here in the so-called Middle East. We don't get rain like that. Noah, you better get off of it. You better stop investing in that damn gopher wood and trying to build up that ark and get on out here and party. No. So what else was going on? Genesis 6, verse 11. The earth also was corrupt before the Most High, and the earth was filled with violence. Well, what are we seeing, right? Do we not see mass corruption going on? We're going to read a story right now about how multiple officials in Ukraine are all quitting and getting fired because of corruption going on over there. We see the corruption through the laws, through the governments, through the churches. We see corruption through the monetary systems. Look at all the corruption that's going on with the crypto hacking and everybody getting scammed, FTXs and everything else. I mean, what are we talking about? Corruption. What's on the tip of everybody's tongue right now with Tyree Nichols down there in Memphis? And I saw some of that video. It's like 4 parts. It's a long thing to get through. I didn't watch the whole thing, but it was disgusting. Disgusting, man. And it's even worse when you got these Willie Lynch Negroes living with elitist attitudes and still thinking they gangsters, wearing a badge, beating the hell out of their own brother, man. Beating the hell out of their own brother. I don't know if y'all seen that, man, but we'll talk about it later. But what else? I mean, it said the earth was corrupt and filled with violence, mass shootings. We just had 3 in the last week I think in California alone. You had the one at the Monterey Park. 11 people was killed, nine people injured. Then you had another 7 got killed at the mushroom farm. And those all they was both Moabites. They kind of toning that down real fast. Real fast. They because of the anti-Asian hate bill and everything else that's been going on, where they were saying hands off of the Asians. They're so innocent running around, man. You can't touch them. Now when they killing themselves, all of a sudden, oh, it's not a hate crime, man. Calm down. These are old men who's disgruntled. We don't know what the cause is. Oh, this is a tragedy. But it's not getting blown up like that no more, huh? First few days, cool. After they found out the one guy put himself to death and the other guy turned himself into the cops, they kind of calmed that down. Then there was another one just this morning in Beverly Crest. They said, and I think they said 3 people got killed and 4 people got injured. So mass shootings are up. Police declaring war on the people. Man, a sister then got beat up because of a misorder at a McDonald's that she complained about. And the cops show up, and the cops beat her. You got protests going on all over the world, from France to Memphis. High rates of crime and heinous crimes going on. Violence is being filled in this earth. We ain't even talked about war. So you tell me, if Yahweh Shah said, look for the things that was going on in the times of Noah, there should be corruption and violence going on all throughout the earth. Do we not see all of those things going on? If you can't, I got a number of a good optometrist that you can go get some, your specs checked out, man. Make sure that you're looking right. I can get you over here to the iridologist where they can, clean out the ears. Then we can sit down, we can discern through the scriptures and make sure that you're seeing the same thing everybody else is seeing. Verse 12. And the Most High looked upon the earth, and behold, it was corrupt, for all flesh had corrupted his way upon the earth. The whole earth is corrupt, man. This is when you seeing a female can be a male can be a female. I mean, what are we talking about here? All manners of corruption is going on all throughout the earth. There's still, Esau's still running around colonizing different areas and lands and oppressing people, stealing and robbing of minerals and resources. All the nations are setting up their particular places for to get set stage for war. Corruption is going on all throughout the earth, man. Make no mistake about it. Let's go to Joel. Let's go to Joel 3. And this is all going to encompass a lot of the current events we're going to cover today, man. Joel 3 and 9. It says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. So we're seeing here the beginning stages of this particular prophecy coming to pass. This is not the end all Valley of Jehoshaphat, but it says it needs to be proclaimed, and preparations for war is going to happen. All the nations now we're seeing are being gathered together. They're all talking about war, be it from NATO, the West, Russia, China, Iran. All of them are involved in matters of war right now. Taiwan, Japan, North Korea, South Korea, all the major players is in on it. Israel, Palestine. You dig what I'm saying? South Africa has already inserted themselves in the war. We covered the story last week when they started allowing Russia's battleships to go over there and start running war drills. So they've made their allegiances. The Gentiles have been told, hey, prepare for war. Verse 10, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. So people, all the nations now are starting to what? Check their weapons. Here you see massive weapons exchanges going on between Germany, Finland, the U.S. They're sending their weapons over there to the Ukrainians. Massive war drills are going on all throughout the earth. Everybody's getting gut checked. We just got through seeing what country was that said they were extending military service? I think it was in where was it? Taiwan, I believe. They extended their military service. You have to enlist to serve the government or serve the military service as an adult in that particular country. I think they said you had to serve at least a year, and they extended that to 2 years now because they're expecting war. So they're saying we need to go ahead on and make sure that we've got right enlistees and everybody's on board when it's time to go. That's why I said let the weak say I'm strong. You don't want to do it, but hey, you're gonna have to stay. You're going to sign them papers or get locked up. Verse 11, assemble yourselves and come ye, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about thither, cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Yahweh. So this is what's going to end up happening. All the warfare is going to be popping off and jumping off. Once they eventually, lay judgment on America, there's going to be continued wars and battles for to see who's on top. Then there's going to be a decision in the valley of judgment is going to happen. That's when Yahweh Shah is going to come. The heathen is going to be judged. All of this. Verse 12. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat. There's a valley of decision. For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come ye, Slaki, come, get you down, for the press is full, the fats overflow, for their wickedness is great. So there's going to be mass deaths going on too. They're going to get purged. We ain't talking about the movies either. It said the sickle is going to be put through. It said the harvest is ripe. Remember, Yahweh Shai even said he's going to come through from Basra in Isaiah, 63. He says he's going to come down like he's been stepping in the wine press. His garment's going to be drenched with the blood of Esau. Multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of Yahweh is near in the valley of decision. See, is near. At some point in time, these prophecies have to start and get put in motion. So what we're seeing here right now is the start of these things. Remember, Yahweh Shai said these are the beginnings of sorrows. So when does it start? We're looking at, has it started? Has World War III started? Well, let's see. 2nd Ezra 13, we're going to read 29 down to 32. It says, behold, the days come when the Most High will begin to deliver them that are upon the earth. And he shall come to the astonishment of them that dwell on the earth. And one shall undertake to fight against another, one city against another, one place against another, one people against another, and one realm against each other. We're going to see massive wars going on all throughout the earth. That's when the Most High said, well, this is the time it's getting ready to set off the deliverance of them that dwell upon the earth. But he's going to lay down judgments. Verse 32, and the time shall be when these things shall come to pass, and the signs shall happen which I showed thee before. And then shall my son be declared, whom thou sawest, as a man ascending. So then they're going to see the clouds crack. Remember, even in Matthew 24 and see this right here. 24 and 27, it says, for as the lightning cometh out of the east and the shining even unto the west, so shall the coming of the Son of Man be. So they're going to see the glory of Yahweh Shai. They're going to see it. Look down here, verse 30. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn. They're not going to be rejoicing. The Christians be talking about they're ready for rose petals and tap dancing and Holy Ghost parties galore. No, it's going to be a time of mourning because they know that vengeance is his. Now it's time for the judgment of the nations in Israel and the world, right? They're going to mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with great power and great glory. Remember, it said they're going to appear with the signs, right? Now, going back, it said, and the time shall be when these things shall come to pass, and the signs shall happen, which I showed thee before, and then shall my son be declared when thou sawest the Son of Man ascended. So we're embarking on the second coming of Hamashiach Yahweh Shai. I'm not saying it's going to be tomorrow, next week, 3 years from now. Who knows? Lord knows, right? But we're chronicling and we're looking to see, when is it going to start? When should we be looking for the beginnings? Well, we're seeing it right now. 2nd Ezra 5. Nevertheless, as coming the tokens, behold, the days shall come that they which dwell upon the earth shall be taken in great number, and the way of truth shall be hidden, and the land shall be barren of faith. Remember, the scriptures even say that there's going to be what? A famine in the land, not of bread and water, but of hearing the word of the Most High. The way of truth. This is why we all get the truth now. Absorb it now. Repent now. Because it's going to be a time when it's not going to be available. Just like we just seen. Not to say, our channel is the only one you can get the truth, but they cracking down on us heavy. Why are we getting targeted? I got my suspicions. Other brothers do too, but it is what it is. Eventually, all quote unquote truth tellers are going to be eliminated from these particular platforms, which means we go back grassroots and we still continue pounding the pavement out here on the streets until that's outlawed, until we're martyred out on the streets, we're locked away, thrown in camps, so forth and so on, to where the word of the Most High is going to be, and the truth is going to be hidden, and the land is going to be bearing the faith. Reading verse 2, but iniquity shall be increased above that which now thou seest, or that thou hast heard long ago. So when those things happen, it says that iniquity and evil is going to be increased worse than what you see now. So that's why Yahweh Shai even said, these are the beginnings of sorrows, but the end is not yet come. It's going to get a lot worse. Hate to say it. Pray that we all have the faith to endure it. But it said it's going to be worse than what we're seeing right now. We sit back and say, damn, can it get any worse, man? Men as a men, they talking about men getting pregnant now, which really are women proclaiming to be men getting pregnant. We're talking about the abuses of children. Our people getting out here, abused out here by the police, military corruption. We're seeing, I mean, all of this stuff is going on. It said that ain't nothing. The smashing and the grabbing, the rapes and the crime that's going on, man, the blatant murders that's happening in our communities. The Lord said, look, it's going to increase worse than what you see right now or that you heard long ago. Remember, even during the time of the Maccabees, it said that the earth was. Let's go there real quick. Let's go there real quick. It said, or that you heard of long ago. So how bad can it get? Look at this. Where is it at? Verse 9. First Maccabees 1 and 9. And after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves. So did their sons after them many years. So it's talking about Alexander. After he died, he had his 4 generals. They all put crowns upon themselves, establishing their own dynasties. And that was during the time of the reign of the Greeks. Now it says, and evils were multiplied in the earth. So during the time of the Greeks, and we read about it, we know about the Maccabean history, man, how bad it was. All these evils. Well, Ezra says, iniquity shall be increased above that which now that thou seest, or that thou hast heard long ago. So how bad is it really going to get? Verse 3. And the land that thou seest now to have root, shalt thou see wasted suddenly. The foundations that we see here in America is going to be uprooted and wasted suddenly. Remember, even in Revelation 18, it said this place is going to be gone in an hour. The place that they stamp the American flag in, the Statue of Liberty upholding her, that light's going to get put out, man. America's going to be washed away. It says, the land that thou seest now to have root, shalt thou see wasted suddenly. So as America engages in these particular wars, funding, corruption, terrorism, I mean, this is how this place is going to get hit. This is how this place is going to get hit, man. Let me see. This Revelation do I want? Revelation 9, is this the one? Let me see. I don't know if that's the one. Hold on. Slacky, I'm looking for this other scripture. Let's see. I don't think that's the one I want. Let me see. Hold on. It might be 8. Let me see. Yeah, Slacky, it's 8. right? So let's look at Revelation 8 and let's read verse 10. Revelation 8 and 10. Let me see if that's the one I want. Hold on. Let me check my Bible. Yeah, that's the one I want. All right. So Revelation 8 and 10 it says, and the third angel sounded, and there fell a great star from heaven, burning as it were a lamp, and it fell upon the third part of the rivers and upon the fountains of waters. So what we're looking at here is the destructions that's going to happen from a great star. That star is a missile, is a bomb, and it says it's going to be burning. So this is where you see the eventual purging of the earth through one method of fire. We know that the second is going to be through fire and brimstone, through the chariots and through the power of the Most High. But the flames are going to start through warfare. When these trumpets are sounded, you're going to start out through warfare. This is why we're starting to hear so much about nuclear war happening throughout the earth, right? So, uh, verse 10, it says, and the third angel sounded, and there fell a great star from heaven, burning as it were a lamp, and it fell upon the third part of the rivers and upon the mountains of water. So, there's going to be massive destruction that happens through these particular bombs that get hit. Jump, let me open up this other one. Revelation 6. 6 and 13, it says, and the stars of heaven fell unto the earth, even as a fig tree casteth her untimely figs when she shaketh is shaken of a mighty wind. Those stars of heaven, those are the bombs, those are missiles that's going to be coming. That's going on throughout world war. So it's saying that even as a fig tree casteth her untimely figs when she is shaken of a mighty wind. So there's going to be massive drops of, if you see like the seeds on the fig tree, you shake it, they all start dropping down. There's going to be massive bombs dropping. You already see that with some of these missile defense systems that's being aligned and being set up. The massive ways that these when you look at the missiles when they get shot in the air, you see nothing but bright light shooting through the sky. You don't see the actual frame of the bomb or the missile or the missile head or whatnot. You just see flashes of light moving through. Similar to when you look in the star in the sky, and you're like, oh, there was a shooting star. Those are the same type of things that we're looking at, right? So this is why we're hearing about all of this nuclear technology and warfare being talked about, everything that's going on. Let's read Revelation 8. Let's read verse 7 now. It says, the first angel sounded, and there followed hail and fire mingled with blood, and they were cast upon the earth, and the third part of trees was burnt up, and all the grass was burnt up. So before we look at that, it says all the trees and the grasses, that ain't talking about land. It's talking about a third of people. That's why when you read in the scripture saying a third of men is going to be put to death, a third of the earth. Those thirds is a particular number of people destroyed. So let's look at this Hosea 12 and 10. I've also spoken by thee, Shalaki, I have also spoken by the prophets, and I have multiplied visions and used similitudes by the ministry of the prophets. So similitude is like a metaphor, a dark saying or whatnot. Just like when the Most High when Yahweh Shai would break down things in quote unquote parables. These are things that weren't always literal, but they were descriptive words that's being used to help you relegate to understand what it could mean in the present tense, right? Just like with Elijah being taken up in the chariot and said, it was like a horse is on fire. You look at the chariot, it's basically the means of transportation. So what are you looking at with a mode of transportation that's moving through the sky? We would call them UFOs, IFOs. I forgot, Esau done changed the name again, calling them something else now. If you know, put it in the chat because I can't remember what he's constantly changing the game on stuff. But nonetheless, when we're reading here, just like you talked about with the hail and fire mingled with blood, this is the destruction that's going to be happening. These are from the trumpets. It's the second and the third trumpets that's being sounded, the seven of them, right? We're going to see. It said that there's going to be hail and fire. So how does hail travel? Through the air. It's going to be mingled with fire. Blood is going to be on them, and they're going to be cast on the earth. Third part of the trees burnt up. All the grass is going to get burnt up. Well, let's just make sure we understand those aspects. So let's look at First Peter. Oh no, First Peter 1. First Peter 1 there, and then we'll go to Mark 8 on this one. First Peter 1 and verse 24. It says, "For all flesh is as grass, and the glory of the man as the flower of grass. The grass wither, and the flower thereof falleth away." So when you see, and it says a third part of the grass is going to be, taken up, it's talking about flesh, right? And it said the trees is going to be taken up. So Mark 8, verse 24. Mark 8:24 says, "And he looked up and said, I see men as trees walking," right? So these again, what we're reading about is metaphors for people, flesh. You dig what I'm saying? So that's where we get that from. Let me get another one. In Sirach. Let's go Sirach 50. 50. Let's read 12 and 13. It says, when he took, Sirach 50, verse 12, when he took the portions out of the priest's hands, he himself stood by the hearth of the altar, compassed about as a young cedar in Libanus, and as palm trees compassed they round him about. So here they are talking about the priesthood, and they're making metaphorical references to palm trees and young cedar trees, right? Verse 13. So were all the sons of Aaron in their glory. You see how they talking about the priesthood? The line of Aaron, they're making them references as though they were trees. And the oblations of the Lord in their hands before all the congregation of Israel. All right. Let me get one more. Isaiah 40. And there's others. Isaiah 40 and 7. It says, the grass withereth, the flower fadeth, because the spirit of Yahweh bloweth upon it. Surely the people is grass. So when you go back and we're seeing what's going to be happening during these times, and we see these particular trumpets being blown, the first angel sounded, and there followed hail and fire mingled with blood, and they were cast upon the earth, and the third part of trees was burnt up, and all grass, green grass, was burnt up. This is what we're seeing, and we're going to understand what these wars are going to produce. There's going to be massive deaths going on in the earth. All right. Um, did anybody remember that thing? Oh, there you go. The watershed. Unidentified and Karatazar. Unidentified aerial phenomena. Man, Esau's a goddamn fool, man. He's constantly changing the game up on stuff, man. Just trying to throw more confusion in the mix. But the water, y'all. The water. All right, we got it. Yeah, there you go. Karatazar. That's the one we talking about earlier. 3 killed, 4 injured, Beverly Crest, mass shootings going on all over the place. And it's ironic that all of a sudden these mass shootings are happening after Slow Biden, comes in and says one of his focuses is going to be uh to reverse Roe versus Wade, and the next thing he was going to go after was the Second Amendment. So whether this is happenstance, coincidence, or what have you, all of a sudden now mass shootings start popping up just as all of this corruption that's going on in regards to his son's laptop, just as all of this corruption is going on in regards to his own confidential documents, that somehow got smuggled and wound up in his garage. Just as all this corruption starts coming out, let's focus the attention elsewhere. Just ironic how those things play out. But nonetheless, man, let's get to these current events. Let's see what's going on the earth, man. All right, here it goes. Now we already know. Russia's already acknowledged and said that if Germany, remember last week, Germany was on the fence. They was like, look, we're not going to send those tanks over there. We're afraid of retaliation from Russia. We don't know what they, remember last week I said they still got flashbacks from World War II. They ain't trying to go there again. But somehow, within the next couple of days, Germany changed their mind and they said, green light the tanks. Somebody pumped them up, put a battery in their back, and said, listen, we're going to take Russia out. Don't worry. You're going to be another world power. We're going to get you back on top. They fed them some BS, right? So now that it's been openly understood that NATO and the West is sending weapons, ammunition, money, the whole nine, Russia has finally said, look, I'm taking this as an act of world war now. We're at war with NATO now. It's not just Ukraine. We ain't even tripping off of Ukraine. We whipping their ass all day. Now it's about NATO. So once that's declared, that has to be considered a declaration of World War III. Because what? NATO's got 30 countries and they're adding more to their conglomerate facing off against Russia. And Russia has its allies. Now, their allies have not engaged yet, but they have not shied away from their allegiances or their support of it. So China ain't back down and said they ain't got their back. Iran, Turkey, there's other nations that's aligned themselves and said, we're rocking with you. South Africa, we're just waiting for all the other nations to say, you know what, this ain't, we got to jump in now. When Putin pushes a button and says, look, it's on now. All hands on deck. So if Russia and Putin has made the declaration that war is no longer just with Ukraine, he's saying it's with NATO now. So if that's understood, then yeah, World War III is begun. Russia is now is now at war with NATO and the West. Putin has taken conflict in Ukraine to a different stage following Germany's decision to supply tanks. This is why you're seeing him stepping up his game, bombing the hell out of Ukraine and going crazy because now it's like, okay, you know what? The gloves is off. I've been patient. I haven't brought out the big guns yet. I haven't even really stepped up, his real arsenal. Notice all them bombs they kept saying that they was hitting. Oh, 3 people got killed, 4 people over here, and they launching multiple. He's hitting infrastructures. He's not really going after the landmass like he could. Now he's changing. Reading down here, it says the game-changing deal among the Western leaders to pump sophisticated tanks into Kiev to blast through the Kremlin's invading forces has sparked fury in Moscow, who are threatening escalating the war beyond Ukraine's borders. Stefano Sanino, Secretary General of the European Union's European External Action Service, said Vladimir Putin will increase indiscriminate attacks on civilians and non-military targets and retaliate against the West. Russia's already stepped up attempts to break through Ukraine's defenses with heavy fighting in the east of the country and launched indiscriminate drone strikes. So there's one. Look at this. Is the WHO preparing for nuclear war? World Health Organization, the same ones that controlled the narrative for the last thing that we had to deal with. You know what I'm talking about. Now they're getting ready to implement a new regulation. Quite possibly. Look at this. Is the WHO preparing for nuclear war? Health body publishes a list of medicines for nations to stockpile in case of radiation or nuclear emergency, as the EU warns Russia is at war with the West. Now, we heard it from Putin. He said, I'm at war with NATO. Now the EU, the European Union, is warning that Russia's at war with the West. They're flipping it. NATO saying, Putin saying, you guys are the ones who involved yourself in this war. How am I at war with you? You jumped in. So by default, yes, they're at war. Now you see how they flip the script where they try to make it seem just like they say, oh, he's got an unprovoked attack on Ukraine. When NATO was the one pushing all the buttons and pushing the issue to violate the treaty agreements that they had between them and Russia by imploring Ukraine to get weapons and to open up their borders to NATO. And in exchange, they were saying, well, maybe we'll add you on. We'll let you be part of NATO. And Putin was like, hold on. We had an agreement since the 90s. You said you would never do that. And now we see just the opposite. So now the EU is saying Russia's at war with the West. So if that's being declared, then that means that there's an open war going down in the world. Multiple nations are involved, fighting one as of right now, but we know that other nations are going to join in to assist um, Russia. Ezekiel 38, we talked about that multiple times. So the WHO is saying nations better start stockpiling radiation and nuclear emergency supplies. Take that for what you will. Let's move on. Look at slow Biden telling more lies. We don't have enough tanks to send to Ukraine. Pentagon admits. But here they are. They've been telling, we're sending the tanks. Don't worry. We got your back. But what does that mean for America? That means that they don't have the stockpile that they are anticipating to defend themselves. So you wonder, well, how's America going to be sure America got the strongest military, blah, blah, blah. America got the biggest front going on. Yeah, they got the technology, they got the weapons, they got it all, but they're depleting much of their supplies, sending them to Ukraine. And a lot of these military experts are saying the stuff that they are sending them is really trash. They like throwaway tanks and stuff like that. It's not really like the high grade military stuff. And they said even with that, it takes like I think they said 6 months or 6 weeks for them to train on it, to figure out how to learn it. So if we hear about or see anything go down um, from these particular tanks, leopard tanks and all this other stuff they've been sending, if anything goes down with them being utilized in less than like 6 months, know that America and NATO is the ones over there utilizing them weapons and utilizing those missile systems and those tanks. Because the Ukrainians, there's no way they would get trained on them and know enough. We're talking about you got to be trained on how to use them, let alone repair them. All that other stuff. It's gonna take a minute for them to do it. If we see any action going down, then we already know the war is on. So slow Biden, he had to come clean. Notice there's a lot of things coming clean, man, since the Republicans came in and got the House. All of a sudden now you hear about the medical treatments that's been advised for the that thing. Oh, it doesn't work as good as we thought. Oh, actually, you could be dying from. Oh, let me be quiet. Let me be quiet. You know what I'm talking about. That comes out. All of a sudden, classified documents is coming out. All of a sudden, all this corruption starts getting exposed. And now all of a sudden, oh, we don't have the tanks to send you. Sorry. We don't have enough tanks to send to Ukraine. Pentagon admits Biden's promise to send 31 Abrams could take up to a year because the U.S. has to buy more. So they setting Ukraine up for complete failure, man. Zelensky's running around, with his politic for bombs, panhandling for money and weapons all around the world. Of course, he comes to he comes to White Zaddy, the great whore, Babylon, asking them, and they say, yeah, we got you. We're gonna send it to you. Do we have it? No, we don't have it. Okay, we got to buy some more. Tell them we got it. We'll send it to him. He's about to go through a year without expecting, not having the tanks to defend. They about to smoke Ukraine. Let's move on. Race against time to get tanks to Ukraine before Europe is engulfed in a war with Russia. Do you hear that? Again, Europe now is being threatened with war. So we know that Satan 2 missile that Putin has, they said that would destroy France by itself. The whole country gone. UK bomb gone. That's why they trying to scramble down as best they can to get all these weapons and stuff to Ukraine to try to use them as proxies to hopefully stop Russia, because they know the next phase is war with NATO and Europe and the West. because Putin has already declared. He said, "Oh, I wasn't cool with y'all giving them much money and sending them ammunition and all this other stuff, and I know you got troops over there, but I'm gonna let it slide." Now you sending them heavy artillery, you sending them heavy technology, you trying to get them to, entice them to bomb Russia itself. Okay, now I'm taking that as an act of war that NATO, now you fully are engaged in a war against us. So we're going to go all out. So now they're all rushing, trying to get these tanks and get this weaponry over there to Ukraine before Ukraine gets wiped off and the next targets are set. Time is ticking for troops in Ukraine after several countries in the West agreed to send tanks to help in the country's efforts against Putin's army. An expert says there's no time to lose. No time to lose. Let's continue. France, Italy close to a deal on supplying air defense systems to Ukraine sources. So you see how all the nations, all the NATO nations, they're all scrambling around, checking their stockpiles, trying to send them down there. Hopefully, this is the last ditch effort that they can try to get to prop up Ukraine, regardless of what they've been talking about in the news. Oh, Ukraine killed 100,000, Russians, and generals are quitting and getting killed, and da 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 da. And the ghost of Kiev was flying around doing his best Top Gun impersonation and killing 13 planes. And but just the opposite, we just read the article last week, was Zelensky running around panhandling to the nations, and he said, give us more weapons, we're dying every day here. But the media say, oh no, David is beating Goliath, don't worry. Well, then why are the nations running around trying to, reach into their stash spots? NATO was pressuring all these other nations, saying, look, we can't be the only one, America can't be the only one sending weapons over there. The UK, we can't be the only ones, the ones sending. All of y'all got to start pitching in. And now all of a sudden, who's scrambling? Germany scrambling, France is scrambling, Finland scrambling, Poland scrambling, Italy, all of them. That's why he said, oh, Putin said, it's on with NATO now. All of y'all ain't on it. France and Italy are close to finalizing the technical details to supply an SAMP air defense system to Ukraine. Two diplomatic sources said on Thursday, although it was unclear how quickly a final decision would come, Russia sent Ukrainian civilians racing for cover with a rush hour missile barrage on Thursday, killing at least one person the day after Kiev secured Western pledges of dozens of modern battlefield tanks to try to push back the Russian invasion. Try to push back. I thought they was already pushing back. I thought they had it under control. Oh, apparently not. Putin plans new Ukrainian push despite losses as he prepares for years of war. Wait a minute. It says that he's planning new Ukrainian push despite his losses. If he's losing, why are these nations scrambling around trying to give Ukraine more help? If he's losing, why does Zelensky last week say that his troops are dying every day? Remember, all of these bots and the Ukrainian officials talking about the press releases got to be cleared through them and all that now, as they're trying to manage their corruption. How do you push if you're losing? The bigger thing is it said he's preparing for years of war. Years of war. So remember, this is just the beginnings. This is a year in. Putin is ready to go for years with this. So once Ukraine is off the map, you think NATO's gonna say, "Hey, it was a good effort, man. Hey, we tried, man. Hey, Putin, man, you got this one. And go ahead back on over there and do what you do. It's all good." You think that's how it's gonna go, or do you think they're gonna whether it's a false flag, something is going to happen to get the rest of the nation to give the excuses of the rest of the NATO nations to get involved, so that they can go on out. This ain't gonna be the end. That's why Putin's saying I'm strapping in for years long conflict. So remember, we talked about the history a while back. Even with World War I, World War II, America didn't immediately jump in. It took them like 3-4 years before they said, "Okay, we got to get involved." So expect the same. It's going to take a hot minute before America says, "All right, fine, we all in." Even though they're by proxy sending weapons, they got little specialized troops over there. I think they said, man, some Navy SEAL just got put to death. They found his body over there. So they got troops over there, but it's not massive. They're not really announcing open war. They're trying to do it covertly as far as some of the troops that's over there and whatnot. But as far as them saying, hey, it's open warfare, man. Everybody here in America take cover. We could get bombed. It ain't got there yet, but it will. Putin plans a new Ukrainian push despite losses as he prepares for years of war. So that's the headline. He's preparing, even though he's got losses, right? Look at this. Ukraine confirms retreat. Wait a minute. Putin is, despite his losses, but Ukraine is retreating. Who's look? I had to pull their panties up. I mean, what they say, pull their skirts up, show their panties. The great whore be lying. Ukraine confirms retreat from eastern town of Soledar to preserve the lives of personnel. What losses again? I mean, what's really going on? So there we see how they control the narrative, how they control the lie. You just got to look for other sources going to tell you the real story, and here they go. That's why the Lord said, man, when he speaketh fair, believe him not, for the 7 abominations in his heart. Let's go. Germany says quiet part out loud about Ukrainian war. Listen to this. German Foreign Minister Annalena Baerbock isn't bashful about laying blame on Russia as its war in Ukraine surpasses 11 months. Baerbock used a significant portion of her keynote address Tuesday at the Parliamentary Assembly of the Council of Europe in Strasbourg, France, to defend law, democracy, and human rights in response to, quote, Russia's murderous attack on the people of Ukraine. Look what she says here. Quote, we are fighting a war against Russia. Let me go back. We are fighting a war against Russia and not against each other. Oops. She slipped up and said something she probably wasn't supposed to. She let this out. She's the foreign prime minister of Germany and came out and said, we're fighting against Russia. See, that's what happened. No offense, sisters. That's why the scripture we talking about, that the young women be quiet and not be busybodies running from house to house, can't hold no water. You know how it goes, especially the women in the world, man. Love a little tea, love a little gossip, can't hold their mouth, can't keep their mouth closed. Got to go out there and keep yapping. Well, there she goes. She went out there and said something she probably wasn't supposed to say, but she declared open war against Russia live. So, is the war? Is it just a civil war now between Russia and Ukraine? Is it just a little conflict going on between them that NATO's trying to help them to defend themselves, poor little Ukrainians? Or is it bigger? We just seen it. The EU said it. Putin has said it. And now the German prime minister came out and said, we're fighting a war against Russia. The war has begun, y'all. Battleships, Russian warship with unstoppable 7,000 mile per hour hypersonic missile sails towards the U.S. and will soon be in strike range. Uh-oh. Does that mean they're going to strike? Not necessarily. But is that a threat? Is that war drums are beating? Is that letting America know, hey, we know what's up. We know what time it is. Just let us know if it's time to go. If you're ready to declare open war, then let's do it. Because they've got a 7,000 mile per hour hypersonic unstoppable ICBM missile that can hit America like that. They got missiles, man, that they can hit America within 13 to 15 minutes. Nukes. I mean, if you was up to it, Russia and Alaska is connected. You could walk. You could see Russia from the western tip border of Alaska. So let's not play games. They're already lining up a warship near the U.S. Look at this. Senior Ukrainian officials are ousted in a corruption crackdown. That's what we talked about earlier. The scripture's talking about the earth was corrupt before the Most High. Look at this. So this is clearly showing you that NATO and America is openly supporting, funding corruption. This is one of the reasons why they were telling them that they didn't qualify for NATO, because of all the corruption that was going on in the Ukrainian government. But they got no problem backing them up, no problem sending them money, sending them weapons. They got no problem standing on. Oh, but look, now all of a sudden they got to start coming clean. Because you know what? Zelensky is figuring, well, maybe if I get rid of this, I'll get more money. Maybe they'll send me more weapons. So senior Ukrainian officials ousted in a corruption crackdown. So was Putin putting any extras on it when he was talking about he was fighting NAZIs over there? NAZIs? You know what I'm talking about? Oh, okay. The deputy head of Ukraine presidential office quit Tuesday after Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky pledged to launch a staff shakeup amid high-level corruption allegations during the war with Russia. It high-level corruption is going on over there. America and NATO's funding it, supporting them. Got people over here brainwashed, running around with their yellow and blue flags, shaming you if you say, "Oh, you don't support the Ukrainians." What? Hell no! I don't support either one of them devils. But the bigger thing is the truth, and it all leads back to the great whore America stirring the pot with her dirty, filthy hands and dirty, filthy legs and dirty, filthy private area. You dig what I'm saying? Infecting all the earth. America loves corruption, man. America loves folly. And here they are supplying one of the more corrupt governments with the means to spark World War III. They being used. That's all. Kirilo Tomoshenko asked to be relieved of his duties, according to an online copy of a decree signed by Zelensky. In Tomoshenko's own social media post, neither gave a reason for the resignation. Deputy Defense Minister Vyacheslav Shapovalov, whatever, also resigned. Local media reported alleging his departure was linked to a scandal involving the purchase of food for the Ukrainian Armed Forces. Department Deputy Prosecutor General Oleski, whatever, forget these damn names. But they're all quitting. I wonder why. Is it because they're taking losses? Is it because of the corruption? Well, clearly the headline is corruption. Who knows what's going on over there? But a lot of things are being revealed now. Air Force General predicts war with China in 2025, tells officers to prep by firing a clip at a target and aim for the head. You see what's going on here? There's just more war talk. Wars or rumors of war. This is just an Air Force General. He's predicting that we'll be at war with America, but not will. America will be at war with China by 2025. He says, I hope I'm wrong. My gut tells me we'll fight in 2025, said General Mike Minahan in a memo sent to his officers as he commands and obtained. Wait a minute. A memo sent to the officers he commands and obtained by NBC News. A 4-star Air Force general sent a memo on Friday to the officers he commands that predicts the U.S. will be at war with China in 2 years and tells them to get ready to prep by firing a clip at a target and aim for the head. So he wants to shoot them gooks in the head, man. You hear that? Look at how violent Esau is, man. Aim for the head of the Chinaman. He said Air Mobility Command has nearly 50,000 service members and nearly 500 planes and is responsible for transport and refueling. This is a 4-star general now, high-ranking official. High-ranking official. What information does he have? What information is he privy to that made him come to the conclusion that by 2025, America could be at war with China? China, as a Orange Bang Trump would say. Let's continue. Oh, look at this. Who wants it? Who wants an Israeli civil war? Remember, we read in Second Ezra 13. It said people against each other. We gotta go back there real quick. Maybe we'll go back real quick. So when we're talking about what civil war matters going on, world war matters going on, the earth being filled with violence, all of the above. It's all here. It's all here. Where are we at? 29, 31. Second Ezra 13, 31. And one shall undertake to fight against another, one city against another, one place against another, one people against another, and one realm against another. We're going to see all of this transpire. All of this is going to transpire. They're talking about civil war over there going on in Israel. They've been shooting missiles and killing over there as well. There's conflict going on. Second Ezra 15. Let's read verse 1. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. So this has been documented. This is how we know it's prophetic. This is how we know it's going to come to pass, because the Lord said this is the word needs to be sent to the children of Israel, his people. It's going to be documented. Once it's written, it's not going to be changed. Now we see here, verse 12. Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that the Most High shall bring upon it. We know this isn't talking about ancient Egypt, because Ezra came hundreds of years after that. So it's talking about this particular Egypt, spiritual Egypt. Revelation 11 and 8 tells us America is spiritual Egypt. Just look on the back of your dollar bill. We all know that. Egypt is going to be mourning. America is going to be mourning. We just got to read even the second coming of Yahweh Shai. It said the earth and the tribes of the earth are going to be mourning when they see this. And the foundation of it shall be smitten with plague and punishment that the Most High shall bring upon it. So this place has got a lot more. We just got to reading about drug-resistant gonorrhea getting plagued here. Before you know it, the last 2 years that the health scare that was going on, the last place that was really dealing with the massive and the greatest outbreaks was here. All of the plagues coming here. The punishment of the Most High is going to punish this place. Right? Look at this. Verse 15. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up against and fight against another, and swords in their hand. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. So people are not going to be respecting authority. Civil wars are going to be breaking off. Race wars are going to be breaking off. World wars, regional wars are going to be breaking out. There's going to be sedition among men, meaning betrayals among men. Quarantine. Look, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. You're going to be restricted of travel. Didn't they already try that? With your passports that had to be stamped saying that you were clear to go, so long as you saw your doctor, right? They've already experimented with some of these things. Look over there in China with their zero COVID. Oh shoot. Oh my goodness, their zero policy, and then once they finally broke free of that, man, now they saying over 80% of the people got the thing. Good Lord. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. That's all I'm going to read of that. Let's go back here. Look, who wants civil war? Millions feel targeted collectively and personally as Israel's judicious pillars teeter and its political nerves fray. So, what's it say? Violence is in the air. What did we just read in the Genesis? The earth was filled with corruption and violence. The streets are simmering and political arsonists are running loose. Millions feel cornered, threatened, and above all abused. Every other day, one reactionary lawmaker unveils a new provocation eager to impress his following and spite everyone else. One plans the Israel Broadcast Corporation's dismemberment, another wants to defund cultural events on the Shabbat, a third wants to segregate the sexes in national parks, and the fourth calls for the opposition leader's arrest. So this is what happens when you got the heathen over there in our land, man. They're over there just corrupting it, destroying it. Let's get that in Isaiah. Isaiah 1. And I think I want verse 7. Yeah, look at this. This was getting ready to happen. And it's been happening. You know, they've been over there tearing up our damn land. Or a portion of our land. That one little strip, that ain't all our land. They was placed over there and given a certain concession of our land. As my brother calls them, what they call them? Squatters. Squatters. Uh, Isaiah 1 and 7. Your country is desolate, your cities are burned with fire, your land, strangers devoured it in your presence, and it is desolate as overthrown by strangers. And now you see what they're doing over there. They're ready for civil war. They can't even get their act together over there, trying to implement laws that have nothing to do with the scriptures, causing civil unrest. Ezekiel 36, verse 5, it says, Therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen and against all Idumea, it's the Greek word for Edom, which have appointed my land into their possession with the joy of their heart, with the spiteful minds, they cast it out for a prey. It's a dang heathen, man. Over there in our land, they going at it with the Palestinians, acting the fool. Uh, that's all I want to do. Let's get back over here. So, violence is in the air. We just got to seeing how that portrays in Genesis 6 and Matthew 24. All right, let's continue. U.S. is monitoring Iranian bid to establish a military presence in the Panama Canal. So we talked about that a week ago. Now the U.S. is starting to monitor what's going on because we just read, what is it, DSTM a couple episodes ago, that Iran was making their first trek over into the Pacific Ocean, over into the Panama Canal, to set up shop over there, to establish a military drills and presence. Why are they getting so close? They're not friends with America. Why is Russia getting so close? They're not friends with America. Why is the WHO talking about telling the nations to get prepared with radiation, med kits, and all of that? Very interesting. The State Department said on Tuesday that it was monitoring Iran's attempts to have a military presence in the Western Hemisphere. Why would they need a military presence in the Western Hemisphere? What business do they have over here? Oh. Putting the Biden administration in an increasingly difficult position as it balances anti-regime protests, Iranian military escalation, and a collapse in diplomacy over a revamped nuclear deal. So, yeah, we forgot about even mentioning the protest that's been going on in Iran. From that woman that got killed by the police, they've been over there wilding out too. I mean, it's all over the place. There's so much going on. I forget about certain stuff. Good thing some of y'all be on top of it. Y'all be adding stuff in there, reminding me. And hey, it's so much going on. It's wild. Let's continue. Ohio police sergeant placed on leave after video shows him punching a black woman during the arrest. Yeah, did y'all see that one? This is over some. I think they said that the sister complained that she didn't get cheese on her burger. Man, McDonald's always got some drama going on, man. Especially that one in Chicago that R. Kelly used to frequent. And the gangs be lining Jakes up at the dang McDonald's. Now McDonald's again. Police sergeant in Ohio was placed on paid leave. Paid leave. Mind you, she didn't hit the woman in the head he didn't hit the sister in the head about 5 times. Shaq, you know where I'm going. Zechariah 11:5. Who possessors slay them and hold themselves not. Let me read verse 4. Thus saith Yahweh my power, feed the flock of the slaughter, whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. And they that sell them say, blessed be Yahweh, for I am rich, and their own shepherds pity them not. So they take advantage of our cursings. The nations do. They get rich off of our labor. They get rich off of our ideas. They get rich off of patents and stealing, colonizing in the whole nine, right? They slaying us and they hold themselves not guilty. I didn't do it. It was justified. See, but they ain't waste no time getting them damn 5 niggas that beat that brother. They was suspended within a week, and by the next week they was set up on murder charges, as they should be. But why isn't the same type of fervency happening with them? And it was an Edomite that was involved. I don't recall. I don't think the Edomite he wasn't part of the beating, but he definitely initiated with the tasing. Edomite tased him, and then off the record, he was talking about. Man, I don't know if y'all seen that video. Hold on, man. Let me pause this real quick. Let me get this consensus, man. If you seen that video from the Memphis beating, man, put a 7 in the chat real quick. Real quick. We don't get back. I want to make sure if y'all seen it. Let me know. Did you see it? Okay, y'all seen it. Some of y'all seen it. Right? You seen it, the Edomite, man. You know, these old fat out of shape cops, man. When Jake took off running, they chasing about half a block, was burnt out, turned around and went back to the car. They macing each other. I mean, talk about some Keystone cops, man, that don't know what the hell they're doing. They run up on the car, man. These Jakes is acting like damn savage, damn hyenas. Get out of the car, mother, you bitch. Get out the car, nigga. They act like he just killed 5 cops. Not some reckless driving, stop. Dragged him out the car. The brother's like, man, y'all doing too much. Oh, come on, calm down. All right. So some of y'all seen it, you know what time it is, right? They roughing the Jake up. The Edomite got the taser, tases him. Now, I can understand, to a degree. I understand why the Jake doesn't want to put himself on the ground. The way these damn hyenas was on his butt, would you want to turn your back on? You want to see what the hell you gonna do to me? If I put my face down, you already sound like you ready to kill me. Yeah, exactly. Shalai. You already sound like you ready to kill me. I mean, listen, Oscar Grant, he complied and got shot in the back. Remember that? Up in Oakland? They made that movie, Fruitvale Station, with Michael B. Jordan, chronicling what happened. So if a brother's like, man, hold on, I don't want to, give you my back. The way y'all acting, man, you might choke me out, you might shoot me in the back. I don't know what's going on. So I'm hesitant to comply with that. They tase him. Jake jump up. When he gets tased, he take off running. They all chased him. The Edomite and the other big Jake, they gave up running after about half a block, came back, realized that they done maced they self and all jacked up. And you hear the Edomite say, I hope they stomp the hell out of him. I hope they stomp him. Now, that's why your comment, Shalak, is important. Because it was at Esau's, he put the spirit out there. He said, man, I hope they stomp him. And guess what they sure did? Yeah, Byron, you already know, man. Willie Lynch all day. All day, man. It was disgusting. That was, I had a problem watching that. Worse was seeing some brothers do that to another brother than the Edomites. Esau is expected. You still get upset and like, damn, but we're so conditioned to see how Esau does that to us. Now it's like, and Esau done did another one of us. But now when you see your own do it, it's even more disturbing. And the way that they did it, man, was just foul. But they hold themselves not guilty. But them 5 nigga cops, they sure got their asses guilty real fast. They got them, suspended them, but now they up on murder charge. Oh, real fast. But this white Ohio cop punching out this black woman, he gets paid on paid leave. Paid leave. That's a vacation. Police sergeant Ohio was placed on paid leave after a video surfaced of him repeatedly punching a black woman in the head while arresting her outside of a McDonald's in Butler Township, police said. The video shows 2 police officers identified as Sergeant Todd Stanley and Officer Tim Zellers struggling with a woman. 2 grown white men struggling with a woman. Zeller seemingly holds a taser up to the face of the woman, identified as Latika Hancock, when Stanley strikes her 3 times. So not only are they breaking training protocol by threatening to tase her in the face, the cop takes it upon himself, man, to sock her out 3 times. All over a damn missing cheese. And she creates a whole hoopla at McDonald's, and McDonald's call the cops, and they arrest her. Here she is, a paying patron. And you know how it works. You know, these fast food spots, man, these people don't give a damn about their jobs. They back talking to you. You see the videos all the time. People fighting at the drive-thrus, people fighting at the Waffle House, people fighting at Chick-fil-A. I mean, not Chick-fil-A. Where was it? Burger King, McDonald's, employees fighting each other, employees fighting patrons. So who knows? The sister went over there. She probably was complaining, and some other person probably back talking ish. And before it went crazy, somebody called the cops. Cops show up, and the woman probably still upset. They jump out there and grab her up as if she's the problem. Who knows? But we know you go to these damn ghetto ass fast food spots. These Negro women and men and Hispanic women, they don't give a damn. They still think they're in the streets despite having a uniform on and supposed to be working. Sister gets threatened to get tased in the face and then beat. And you talk about corruption, violence going on the earth? Yeah, I think so. Y'all seen what happened with the Tyree Nichols thing? I ain't even gonna revisit it. Y'all already know. And you see how the media, they was really trying to pump that whole thing up. The media was trying to pump that thing up. They was like, oh, civil unrest. Civil unrest. The water shack. It just popped in my spirit, man. I'm gonna hide that comment, but I ain't mad at you, brother. You know, they be watching this channel too much, man. Always trying to do something. But yeah, no doubt, man. No doubt, man. I mean, hey, the disciples was protecting themselves, wasn't they? They was holding something on the hip, you know. But I was just finishing up reading that article, Shaq, and then everybody else. So like, if you're not sharing, I forgot to get back on it. But that was it. This is the next one. On the economy side, look, Americans are falling behind on car payments at a higher rate than 2009. So all the good times was rolling, man, when they was qualifying everybody for their car loans, man. Jake's out there buying these extravagant foreign cars, listening to their favorite rappers while they want to ride foreigns. You know, my 10 tribe brothers, man, you love your trucks. So you go buy that damn truck and you're gonna spend $1,100 for the car note, another $300 for insurance. You're paying $1,400 just to drive the damn thing. Then gas went up. You're paying another $500 a month for gas. I mean, good lord, you talking about down there having $2,000 just to drive? No wonder cars is getting snatched up. 2 weeks ago, I was sleeping. It was about 12:30 at night, and I hear outside, what sounds like a tow truck. I'm hearing zik, zik. But they moving kind of quiet. And I looked outside. I said, what the hell? Sure enough, one of my neighbors, their car got snatched up out of here. in the middle of the night, and the dude did it smooth too. He didn't even, he had like a diesel like Denali truck or something like that. It wasn't even like a regular tow truck. So you could tell he was like some private repo man or something. He kind of backed in real quick and didn't have to get out the car. He did everything automatic with the hatch and everything. He crept out, peeled out, took their car. So I've seen a repossession within the last 2 weeks. It's going down. The good times ain't rolling no more. Despite what Slow Biden and the rest of them are talking about, oh yeah, inflation's coming down. Look, get out and mm-mm. It ain't all good, man. Everybody knows that. Um, I just heard that the Macy's at the Crenshaw Mall, they're getting ready to close that after 75 years of being there. Americans are falling behind on car payments at a higher rate than 2009. Automobile repossessions are climbing as inflation forces struggling consumers to make tough choices. Yeah, it ain't all good. Now ain't the time to be running around trying to go finance it. If you can afford it, you got all that, cool. But there was people who were living beyond their means, getting this car, getting that car, trading in this car to get a better car, working overtime, and then once that OT gets cut, oh, now you're laid off. You living beyond your means. You can't do that. You got to watch what this damn devil's doing, man. He gonna set everybody up for failure. Americans are falling behind on their car payments. Let's go. Look at Iowa proposes SNAP benefit restrictions akin to WIC. Anti-hunger advocates strongly oppose. Well, Sister Renee sent me this, and it was a video this evening. She was talking about it. She's in Iowa, but just recently they dialed back on it. This was like, I think I looked at the article last night, and they said they called it off. I wonder why. We're gonna look at it in a second. According to the Iowa Hunger Coalition, SNAP recipients would no longer be able to purchase meat other than certain varieties of canned tuna and salmon. Listen to this. This is how they're going to try to. This is just a beta test. They just want to see, can we get away with it? As they are breaking economies, breaking people's pockets, doing bank runs, doing all kind of stuff, man, to disrupt the system. Crypto scams, breaking everybody down, so that they can line up a universal basic income, so that they can line up a social credit score payment system, an electronic payment system, so forth and so on, to put everybody on rations. All of the cooperating citizens put on rations, incorporated into the beat system to buy and sell what you want to eat. And here they are, starting off with the dependents of the system. So those are on SNAP, WIC, and all that, EBT. This is what they were trying to do. So of course they're gonna start on the poor whites over there in Iowa. So it said that they were going to restrict them from buying meat other than certain varieties, and you can only get canned tuna and salmon. Or you couldn't go there. You're not buying ground turkey. You ain't buying that steak and all that other stuff you used to be able to go spend up and eat good. They wanted to restrict it. So they said, let's see if we can do that. But the reason why we got to pay attention to this is because this would be the ultimate plan on how they're going to try to restrict them, what you can eat, what you can't eat. This is why they got the issue with the eggs and everything else. Inflation rates on the food. They're compromising the food with now. I'm jumping ahead, but we'll get to it in a minute. Let's look at this again. So, SNAP recipients would no longer be able to purchase meat other than certain varieties of canned tuna and salmon. The coalition added that people on food stamps spend about $1 of every $5 on meat, poultry, and seafood, making it the top food category purchased by SNAP recipients. So the main thing that people was buying, they wanted to take away and restrict and put them on canned food. Other foods that would no longer qualify for SNAP purchases include butter, flour, white rice, white bread, sliced cheese, cooking oil, herbs, spices, and coffee and tea. These are all like staple items in everybody's households, damn near, with the exception of white bread. I don't know who's eating white bread. But hey, I mean, Jake's, Northern and Southern Kingdom, we all eat rice. We all like butter. We all utilize flour. How else you gonna fry your chicken and all that? Sliced cheese, cooking oil, herb spices, coffee, tea. They were getting ready to cut all of that off. If they could have got away with it, they were going to cut all of that off. And then guess what? Once the other country, once the other states see, oh, Iowa got away with it. Oh, you know what? Alabama, you do it next. Arkansas, you next. Oh, L.A., you dig what I'm saying? Then everybody that's on EBT, SNAP, so forth and so on, are going to be completely cut off, moving on a government-approved diet that pretty much relegates you to eating nothing but straight crap and synthetic foods and meats and bugs. But they had to pull back. They was getting too much resistance. That doesn't mean it's going to be off the table. Doesn't mean they won't revisit it. Don't mean that they won't forcibly put this out there. But they just went out there to test the waters. Hey, can we get away with it? Let's see. This is where they trying to go. This is what they want to happen. They just put the plan out. Now we got to take note of it and see where this thing is going in the near future. This is why they had to pull back. Because you got 84% of Iowa is white folks. And you know them white folks, they're gonna jump to the defense of their own real quick. All the little what they call them? Anti-hunger advocates and all these other little nonprofit groups, they jump to the rescue of them poor trailer park trash Edomites over there. You can't do that. Don't take meat off of their plates. Don't take their rice and white bread and all that. 84% of Iowans are white. You see it here. I think it's 3% is so-called black. Hispanics were like 6%. Native American Asians, they was down to like 2 and 1%. Multiracial, I think they was like 2%, something like that. Hawaiian Pacific Islanders, they was like 0. That's this thin little slice right here. But of course, they're gonna jump to the aid of their own. But they try to get the trailer parks, man. They try to get them real quick and see if they can get them. They uh, get them to comply. But all the little advocates jumped out and said, "No, no, you can't do that." So they backed off. But know that it's still on the table. Look at $18 a dozen. Just for eggs. How did America's eggs get absurdly expensive? Like, what is going on with these eggs? Why is it such a high commodity? Why is everybody? What's going on with these egg prices? What's making them because of the rarity? They talking about it's because of the avian flu. They were talking about that in this article. They've been busting people shipping eggs or smuggling eggs from Mexico. Look at this. The egg carton has become a symbol of inflation. By the end of 2022, prices have shot up 60% year over year, putting a strain on holiday budgeting for households across the country. We know eggs has been used for a lot of different things to create different meals. Some people eating eggs on their own, scrambled, what do you call it? Omelets, all the other stuff. A lot of the restaurants are relying upon them. So eggs is a commodity. Uh, but look at this. It says some Americans got creative with their sourcing. Attempts to smuggle eggs across the U.S. Mexico border have surged. U.S. Border Patrol says, with the agency reporting that the number of egg and poultry seizures rose 108% from October 1st to the 31st of December. Shoppers are also seeking out local farms, which can be cheaper. Egg farmers on TikTok have poked fun at this boom, calling themselves egg dealers, weighing their produce as if it were a kilo of drugs. Well, they laughing about this, but remember, even in Revelation, it tells us that we're going to have certain commodities that's going to be Revelation 6. Even Revelation tells us. You talking about a measured look? They joking about we're measuring eggs on the triple beam, whatever. Revelation 6:6, and I heard a voice in the midst of four beasts saying, "A measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny, and see that thou hurt not the oil and the wine." So this is when the third seal is broken, and we're talking about massive famine happening. So you talking about damn near like a loaf of bread costing a whole day's worth of a day's pay. When it says a barley for a penny, we ain't gonna break that down. We've done that a few times, but just showing you how the famine is going to be effective. So it's not so much there'll be a scare. There's going to be certain scarcities of foods and resources, but there is going to be food, but people just won't be able to afford it. You won't be able to afford it, which creates a famine. Look at the history in Genesis with the 7 years of plenty and the 7 years of famine with Joseph, and see what the people were doing. The people initially start buying, and then when the money ran out, they had to go mortgage their lands. They was giving they animals up. They was doing everything. They let everything go until they said, "Well, we got nothing left but ourselves and our bodies, man. We'll come work for the food. We'll be slaves so that as long as we can be part of Egypt and eat, we'll do what's necessary." So look at this on Tuesday on the Upper East Side of Manhattan, one of the most expensive neighborhoods in America. Prices remain steep. At Eli's Market, a gourmet grocery store, a dozen organic eggs cost $12.99 and $17.99. I seen a video of this Edomite farmer. He's got some Amish neighbors, and he was saying that the Amish neighbors was talking about how some of this is because of some of the scarcities that's going on. The grocery stores don't want to pay for the commodities. So that's also leading to some of the abandonment of goods and services, because the grocery stores can't afford to buy and to re-up certain stocks of things. So it's a whole lot going on with this. Let's continue on. But who the hell's gonna pay 13 or $18 for some eggs? Please. Moving on into the digital world, because this is where they want everybody to go. Banks plan payment wallet to compete with PayPal and Apple Pay. So now you know how it goes. Apple Pay, PayPal, all these digital convenient things going on. Now the banks are joining the fray as they're talking about the CBDC creations, the crypto-based currencies, digital currencies. I mean, the digital currencies they're trying to create, the centralized bank, whatever the CBC. I forgot what the CBDC stands for. I think centralized bank digital currency, I think is it. But nonetheless, banks now are starting to invest in these digital forms of payment, where this is leading towards a cashless society. They want to get rid of the cash. That's why the dollar, the inflationary measures that's being happening, taking the value of our dollar out. You see all around the world, the value of the dollar is depleting. Then you see other nations, Russia, Brazil, India, China, South Africa, trying to create a new payment system backed by gold so that they don't have to rely on the fiat fake currency of America. You understand? So this is what it's all based upon. So the banks are they're getting ready to join the fray. And we read an article last week where it said that, what did it say? There was a headline that said that the banks are going, said something to the effect of the economy is going digital whether banks are ready or not. So they're leaning towards jumping in on the fray. So when they create this whole digitized bank system, this is all part of end times of Revelation 13. Uh, you know what I'm saying? Thing to go to the MOB, the mark of the thing. Okay, because we didn't got a strike for saying that, so I got to be careful with that now. Big banks are teaming up to launch a digital wallet that people can use to shop online. So it's always online first, right? And see, that's what some people think that's the escape route. Oh well, you saying it's already this you can't go, you can go online. Look at this. I did a little short video. I was hesitant to post it on YouTube, so I did it on our Instagram. Yes, I finally learned to use Instagram. But it's on there, man. The water, the sister Namawa, she sent me the pictures But I seen a video too, and this is just what they're trying to do. Look at this. And she's so happy. She's so good and embraced the system of the beast, man. Look at the sheeple. They will eat some money.
I just paid using only my palm at the grocery store without credit cards and cash. Let me show you how it works. You need to sign up on Amazon One kiosk. You insert your credit card and the machine scans both of your palms. Then you enter your mobile number and agrees with terms of use. You're all set. I didn't believe that it worked that simple and decided to check it straight away. I just got something to drink and went to the cashier. And this is the moment. I just paid using my palm. Can you believe? What do you think about this technology?
Oh, she's so happy, so smiling. This old dumbed down bro. She has no idea what she just signed up into. No idea. No idea. But that's at the Amazon Fresh stores, which basically is Whole Foods, right? So when you get the top tier, grocery stores and all of that, setting the standards, it's going to trickle down because the lower levels, Food for Less, Superior. I'm talking about the stores here in California. For those who's out of state, these are stores. The Walmart, so forth and so on. They're going to acquiesce and join in on the fray too. It ain't no different than the payment systems when they implemented those, the debit card readers and all that in the store. Every store didn't have that. They started off in the higher ends because those are the people who had the American Expresses and Mastercards and all of that. And then all of a sudden, then you notice EBT went from the regular paper food stamps. Everything went to the card. So now Food for Less and all the other grocery stores say, oh, we can take the card payments now. Same thing they're gonna do here. Oh, it's going to be made off of convenience. Oh, you can leave your cards at home. Don't worry about it. You don't want to get robbed, do you? You don't want to carry around all this identification stuff on you. Don't worry. You're just running to the store. Your hands still work, don't they? Okay, no problem. You're already linked into the system. Just put your hand over here, man. Pay with your palm. Everything's great. So, the banks are now planning for a payment wallet to compete with PayPal, Apple Pay. I used to trip when I first seen this Edomite in the store. He paid with his Apple Watch. He paid. He put his arm up to the scanner. I said, "Look at this." I said, "Oh man, here it go." Then you got people. You just use their phone. Boop, boop. You know, you even see the phones. I forgot what phone it is. As long as you got the same phones, you can transfer money or transfer information just by tapping phones with somebody else's phone. You got the what do you got? The iCloud and all that other. You can share information through you. Everything is already done through the phone, man. Phones is chipped, cards is chipped. The technology is already here. They just waiting to roll it out, get everybody acquiesced to the comfortability and the convenience of what it provides. The sheeple will follow. Boom. And you see her, she's smiling and giggling. Oh, this is the poster child that they're gonna sell it on. How easy it was her to buy her little naked juice. Let's continue. The AI race heats up. Microsoft invests 10 billion in Chat GBT maker OpenAI to compete with Google. Remember last week we talked about how AI was writing articles online and they were trying to invest more in AI. They all the technology experts were saying by 2020, I think they said by 2025, 90% of online content is all going to be AI based. Y'all remember that? And I was trying to find the article talking about Bill Gates was investing in it, and I couldn't remember. This is one of them. This is what he's investing in. Chat GPT, which is a AI hive mind that they are going to use to implement control on the internet, content on the internet, medical services, lawyer services, so forth and so on. The use for humans will be eliminated sooner than later. So if you want to think about Terminator and Skynet and all that other stuff, yeah, Everything Esau put out there, man, it all ain't just fiction, man. It comes from a true source. It's just a matter of time before he's ready to tell the truth. Remember, the Most High even said that the son of perdition is going to be revealed. He's got to tell the truth eventually. He's got to put it out there. So look at this. The artificial intelligence race is heating up. Microsoft announced Monday that it's making a multi-year, multi-billion-dollar investment in the startup OpenAI, the maker of GPT, to compete with Google in commercializing new AI breakthroughs. A Microsoft spokesperson declined to comment on the terms of the latest investment, which some media outlets reported would be 10 billion. But he's declining to comment about it. This sounds like a great investment, right? This sounds like technological advancements beyond measure. Why wouldn't you want to comment on it? What are you holding back? What don't you want to come out early? Interesting. The tech giant's new agreement is the third stage of a growing partnership with San Francisco based OpenAI that began with a $1 billion investment in 2019. The partnership will help further the chatbot by providing OpenAI with necessary resources. ChatGPT also made headlines Monday after it passed some of America's most challenging exams, showing NDA, and will soon pass difficult tests like the United States medical licensing exam and the bar. You see that? So they're talking about AI and robots passing medical licensing, bar exams. They're already using robots to perform surgeries and all that. And visitations, you can talk to a damn robot. Now they literally are going all in. The bar exam, you're gonna have to do, a lawyer. Your lawyer is gonna be AI. And mind you, this is all coming from pre-programmed humans creating this AI. So what are they? The information that they receive is coming from you. That's why some of these AI chatbots and all that. There's been stories about how they had racial epithets already embedded into them, all kind of stuff. Facial recognition they was already biased about because it's coming from our enemies, man. And this is where it's at. AI race heating up. Now look at this. Ticked off. TikTok has a button that can make anyone go viral. It's a mind-boggling secret users must know. So that lets us know also that the um, the manipulation of social media, the manipulation of some of these apps and all that other stuff, it's all pre-programmed and planned. They can make anybody go viral if they want to. That's why you see all the foolishness going on the internet is because they want to control the narrative. They cut because they want to control the masses, and people will buy into it and just start following things just because. All of the dances, all of the stupid trends that's going on, all of the disinformation stuff that they be putting on there that people use TikTok for their information resources. that- Know that our enemies in control of everything. If the earth's been giving it to the hand of the wicked, damn well he's doing this. A push of a button can make anything go viral. TikTok harnesses the power to make anyone into a celebrity overnight. Its most popular users and the app itself have become some of the hottest topics of conversation across showbiz and tech. Experts have been fascinated with the rise of so-called influencers, social media users with large followings, but it appears there's a secret behind the popularity of some users and widely circulated videos. Remember, Slow Biden and his campaign had a TikTok army that they were using to help promote their agenda. This is the type of stuff they're using. TikTok reportedly has a behind the scenes feature which can make anyone go viral. The top secret feature is known by staff internally as heating, according to a report by Forbes, which got a hold of office documents. The term heating refers to a manual button which staff can push that makes sure specific videos achieve a certain number of views, told sources told the American outlet. So imagine that. Everything you see ain't real. Everything you see ain't real on this internet, man. It's crazy. It is crazy. Oh, look at this. Lab grown meat moves closer to American dinner plates. Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice? As the Snapper EBT controllers are talking about their eventual plans to tell you can't buy meat unless it's, canned tuna or salmon. Oh, but they're going to open it up for you to be able to buy lab grown meat only. Once the stuff of science fiction, lab grown meat could become reality in some restaurants in the United States as early as this year. I've been talking about this for years. Here it is now. Um, you probably got to archive the video for some of y'all that's new to the channel. Don't know. I did a lesson on this a couple years ago. It's called "Death on a Plate," and talk about the whole oppression, the whole food program of oppression, how they're going to utilize food to control and destroy and kill. Everything from Japanese scientists making burgers out of poop to the bugs to the mealworms to all of that stuff being the future of cuisine for the world, if you will. Right? Maybe I'll re-upload it so y'all don't have to find it. Uh, I don't know. We'll figure it out. But it's there. Just gotta find it. Executives at cultivated meat companies are optimistic that meat grown in massive steel vats could be on the menu within months after one company won the go ahead from a key regulator. And we already looked at, I remember we looked up uh, the clone meat and the FDA saying it was all good. This is like since 2016 or so. So they've been on it. Talking about clone meat has been approved by the FDA. This was years ago. It's been on the plate for like 6, 8 years. But now they're trying to put it out there for the masses now to get it out there on the shelves, and they're pushing to not have to label it. In a show of confidence, some of them have signed up high-end chefs like Argentine's Francis Malman and Spaniard Jose Andres to eventually showcase the meats in their high-end eateries. So imagine that. See how the high-end cats, you're gonna get it first, and then it's gonna trickle down to us poor folk. So they say, "Oh, the rich eat it. I want to eat what they eat." Remember, that's why the Most High said, "Envy not thou oppressor, and choose none of his ways." None of his ways. Do we need to go there? Our people always, we get so infatuated with the plates of what our oppressors be eating, man. That's why I said, man, since when did Negroes and Hispanics start eating damn sushi? You niggas was not eating sushi 10 years ago, 5 years ago. Oh, but because oh, you got to get cultured, man. Get out, go to a Japanese restaurant, man. Sushi's good. What? Not eating nothing raw at all. Nigga all of a sudden know about lattes and all this other stuff. Where was all this stuff at? We wasn't even drinking all this other stuff, man. Now, granted, I'm not gonna be a hypocrite. I say I never had a latte. Wouldn't have Starbucks. Yeah, I think I can count on one hand how many times I've ordered a drink from Starbucks. And I'm not hating on you Starbucks fans. It's all good. I'm just making a point that some of these things was not familiar to our palates and what we was used to until it gets introduced by our oppressors. You dig what I'm saying? So the way that he says, "Hey, surf and turf, you gotta have. If you want to have a real play, you gotta have lobster. You gotta have steak and all this other stuff." And now brothers is out here trying to break themselves to take their first date out to the whatever little restaurant, and she's been watching videos of other sisters talking about how much you know order this, that, and the third, try to break them because you ain't gonna eat it at home. So you want to order the most expensive madness and most of its abominations. Why? Because our oppressor said that's the good stuff. Proverbs 31, 3 and 31. Envy thou not the oppressor and choose none of his ways, including dietary choices. If it's not lawful, don't do it. But here they want, oh, let the rich high-end chefs, they're gonna cook the lab-grown meat. And then guess what? Typical fashion of the Israelites, we always think the grass is greener on the other side. What's going on over there? We want some too. Why do y'all make it look so good? I'm coming. It didn't what's the name? Flip Wilson? Not Flip Wilson. Was it Flip Wilson? No, Sidney Poitier. He had a movie called Guess Who's Coming to Dinner? Negro pop up at the dinner table. That's what happens, man. Then Jake want to go over there. Let's continue. But to reach its ultimate destination, supermarket sales, cultivated meat faces big obstacles. 5 executives told Reuters companies must attract more funding to increase production, which would enable them to offer their beef steaks and chicken breasts at a more affordable price, Along the way, they must overcome a reluctance among some consumers to even try lab grown meat. Yeah, and don't be surprised uh, if this egg shortage continues, how they have, self incubating eggs in the lab somewhere saying that you can have eggs here. Don't worry, we're making it in the labs and we got incubators in the whole nine. And we'll sell it to you cheap. Don't mind the fact that it's going to probably give you cancer and kill you in 7 years. But hey, wasn't that omelet good? Didn't it taste real? That's the mind of the damn devil, man. We don't know what the heck's going on. Now, tell me this isn't indicative of the earth being given a hand to the wicked and the so called white man controlling everything. Everything. When we talk about, before we go there, I'm going to go there in a second. And the curses. Deuteronomy. Where we at? 28:37. Here we go. One of the curses, right? Deuteronomy 28:37. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whither the Yahweh shall lead thee. So we know that there's going to be bywords, derogatory terms, false identities placed upon us: spick, nigger, wetback, Mexican, Hispanic, black, Native American, indigenous, so forth and so on. These are all bywords, proverbs among all the nations, man. Africans calling us kutta, black cotton picker. Who knows what the other, the Chinese, Japanese. Everybody got a name for us. There was I seen a video of a brother. He was walking in the streets of Japan, and some little damn Ammonite girl looked at him and said, "Oh my, you're so black," in Japanese. It was a video called "Living." What's it like to be black living in Japan, or something like that? And he just, filmed himself walking down the street, and some little damn Ammonite was standing outside the store by herself. Maybe her parents was in the store. I don't know. But she said, "What you see? Going?" And it was translated, said, wow, you're so black." That's a byword and a proverb. Now look at this. Biden administration proposes adding Middle Eastern and North African categories. Now, those is for the heathen, right? But look at this. And alter how Hispanics identify themselves in first changes to the U.S. Census and Survey since 1997. So here he goes back telling people who they are, telling you who your nationality is. If you come to the great melting pot, if you come to Babylon, if you come to the land of the great whore, we'll tell you who you are. Now, this is something I didn't know. They said the U.S. residents from the Middle East and North Africa have had to identify as white. So do you see how Esau been manipulating the census population to increase his numbers? If you were Middle Eastern or North African, you had to identify and check off a box saying that you was white. And that cooks the books as far as their populations is concerned. Now they even telling Hispanics, and they're going to alter how Hispanics identify themselves, which again is him imposing bywords, more proverbs, because what they have on the census: Hispanic, non-white, Hispanic, from whatever they put on there, man. He's constantly changing the damn game. How many times did he did it to the so-called black man? We went from what? Well, let's start from now. We'll go backwards. African American, Afro American, black, colored, Negro. Uh, what else did I miss any? Those are the only ones I can think of. Even dating back to the census of like the 1800s or whatnot, they used to have the Native Americans classifying themselves as Negroes. So that's just five, probably within the last century, just for the so-called black man. And then we impose our own stuff. So you got Native American, Native American non-Hispanic, Native American, Eskimo, all this foolishness, man. So now he's getting ready to change the game again, and he's going to have a MENA for Middle Eastern and North African for them to classify. So now they don't have to say that they're white anymore. And then they're doing something similar with the Hispanics, man. It's unbelievable. But that's just more proof positive that the so-called white man is the one who's in control of the earth, and he's the one imposing these curses on our people. Now look at this. This is how you know, man. We are in. Oh, okay. See, I missed it. Well, hopefully this is true, but who knows? They so out of control. Let me look at it. Now Aretha Franklin's song "Natural Woman" is deemed offensive. You make me feel like a natural woman. You know that song? Offensive to trans women. Outrageous activist demand song is removed from Spotify and Apple Music. Now down here it says group now claims to be a parody and says tweets were satire. Yeah, right. Oh, it was just a parody. We was just joking. Maybe because some people got outraged and was like, look, you people over there, you quote unquote LGBTQ HIV plus activists have lost your damn mind. And we not letting you get away with this. Oh no, hold on. We're just joking. We're just joking. I mean, unless you don't believe, unless you want to believe it. See, that's how they do it. Can you imagine if this was real? They saying now they're saying it's a joke. They must have updated. I don't know, but can you imagine like James Brown song "This Is a Man's World"? They would dig up James Brown, man, and throw the noose on him and hang him if they could. Leave it to the crackpot LGBTQ plus activists. The song by the Queen of Soul is being called offensive by the alphabet activists, leading the charge to have the song nixed in the Norway-based Transcultural Mindfulness Alliance, a group started this year. So now they say that it's a joke. Right. Nobody's laughing though. But don't be surprised. We're in such a bizarro world right now, man. Something like this could be real. I believe they put this out there and tried to test the waters to see if they can get away with it. And then when it got backlash, they said, we were just joking. It's a prank. It's a prank. Nobody's laughing at this foolishness. Look at this. Chase is locking up some of their ATMs at 5 p.m. due to NYC crime. Well, didn't we just go to seeing violence covering the earth? Now you can't even go to the ATM at the city that don't sleep. Isn't that what New York, right? City that never sleeps. Everything's open. Now they're saying you can't even get access to your money at certain Chase banks because they gotta lock them up because too much crime. Look at this. It's really this is the tweet. It's really annoying that the Chase locks up their ATMs at 10 p.m. now. I thought this was New York. Yeah, he thought so. Our apologies. We decide to close several ATM vestibules at 5 p.m. or 6 p.m., aligning the hours of service to that of the normal branch hours due to rising crime and vagrancy that occurred in these previous 24/7 vestibules. Send us a DM if you have other concerns or feedback. So another means to cut off your cash, cut off your by letting Jakes run wild and letting the heathen run wild out here, tearing up stuff. Now they're cutting off lifelines to get your money out. You got to wait until the morning to get back to business hours. So another thing, right? The New York Stock Exchange, look, watch this. Says it will cancel some early trades after technical issues led to halts over 200 stocks. This was just this last Tuesday, right? Now, it didn't have no real major effects, but the reason why I bring this out is notice how many quote unquote technical issues that's been happening of late. And it's involving money and travel. Remember the quote unquote technical issues that some private contractor messed up some files and shut down all the airplanes, all the airplane travel a couple weeks back? Then last week, Bank of America and Zelle had a quote technical issue, and people's money came up missing. Bills wasn't paid. All of a sudden, technical issue. Now the stock exchange, they had to hold off on trades Over 200 stocks because of a quote technical issue. Oh, there's bugs in the system. Really? So what happened to the cyber polygon? Remember we talked about that a couple years ago regarding all of the cyber attack preparations and everything they was talking about that was going to happen. No, they just testing the waters, man. Oops, how'd that do? Yeah, it worked. It worked. We can shut it down anytime. Then you seeing they got panic buttons. I mean, buttons they can push to make somebody go viral. The whole system is manipulated, man. This is why it's the Matrix. Now look at this coon, man. I used to like Sir Charles, man, when he was playing back in the day and all of that, man. But this dude it showed his ass more than enough, showing his teeth, doing the most, comes against his own people more than he would come against his oppressor. And the first time he comes against his oppressor, man, he came out and apologized immediately. But hasn't apologized to Kyrie, hasn't apologized to any of the players that he criticizes and talks crazy about and calls names and everything else. When it comes to his own, he's acting a damn fool and has no drawback on it. Talk about slow Biden. Oh, Charles Barkley apologized to Biden after saying fans should not vote for NBA All-Star game because look what happened last time they got to vote for president. So he can't even say an open political statement of saying, look, I didn't support Biden. Look what happened when everybody voted for him. I don't like what's going on. He's so scared to even say that he comes out and apologizes. But Kyrie can be an idiot. All the other stuff that he talk about other Jakes. That now he ain't got no problem with that, right? But you speak against White Zaddy, man, you better bow down. Chuck voiced his opinion after Joel Embiid was left out of the lineup in the Eastern Conference team in favor of Kevin Durant and Jason Tatum. There's an awkward pause in the TNT studio afterwards. I didn't see the live, but the fact that they're pausing, like, did he just say that? I mean, what kind of imperialist regime are these damn goofballs thinking that they need to bow down to, man? It's unbelievable. But that just shows you how controlled this media is. He says that, and they all stop and say, "Oh, that wasn't me. I didn't say it. I didn't say it." It's like these Negroes, you don't have enough money, you don't have enough clout that you can't fuck. It's like that you can't walk away from your job and say, "I'm comfortable. I'm cool. I can go do this, that, and the third, man." Nowadays, you can start your own dang podcast. You can do whatever. You don't need TNT, man, for your damn voice. But you're so damn scared to say something, and everybody else is pausing, looking at you like, "Oh, did he just say that?" It's like you said, man, I'm gonna escape the plantation, man. I'm leaving. boss, boss, man. Hey, Charles said he said something bad about you, boss. I didn't say it. You see me? My lips is closed. Please, boss, don't do that to me. Get him. And when he goes over there and tell Chuck, did you say something? Well, I apologize. I apologize, Biden. I didn't mean it. It was a joke. This is type of buffoonery, man, and the damn uh tail between the leg nature, man, of these guys. This was look. This is the same guy that posed as a damn slave on Sports Illustrated, talking about he's unchained. Every black kid thinks the only way he can be successful is through athletics. That is a terrible thing. Although he was successful through athletics, although he's successful through still profiteering off of athletics by commentating and talking about sports, he made it through those means. And he was saying every black kid doesn't think that. This is his quote back then. But how many outlets has he created to make other means of successes for black men and black kids? Has he done that? Has he, is arm in arm with his white woman? I don't think so. So when you see somebody like this, man, posing as a damn slave on the damn Sports Illustrated, it's no wonder he's still in the mind frame of captivity and being a good old boy. Salute to Kyrie. Look at it. All the hell he was going through, all the madness that they was. He stood on the square, and still, this shows you that we're a chosen people, man. Brooklyn Nets star Kyrie Irving is grateful to fans for voting him number one among Eastern Conference guards in the NBA All Star. So is he still an idiot, Charles? Shaq, Amari Stoudemire, the rest of you damn coons, man, who's scared to speak up and say something, to stand on some morals and some principles. He didn't follow the protocols of the NBA and roll up his sleeve. Still has a career. Still did what he needed to do. Stood up and said, "Hey, I stand behind my history. I stand behind this, that, and the third." Despite all of the damn, as they say, anti-Semitic tropes, despite all of the hate, the backlash, all the extras, all of the media attention that he was receiving, he came back, continued balling. They go on like a damn 10, 12, 13 game win streak. Everybody loves him again. Now he's the number one guard in the NBA on the Eastern Coast, Eastern Conference guards. See what happens when we stand up and we stay firm in our faith. The Most High is still going to exalt us. The Most High still will exalt us. Let me get that in I believe it's in Peter. Yeah, here we go. See the First Peter 5 and 6. Humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of the Most High, that He may exalt you in due time. Everything don't need to be. You move in humility. You move in meekness. You stay in you stand on your square. Stand behind righteous principles of moral ethics, dietary ethics, civil ethics, based upon the laws and the commandments of the Most High. The Most High said you'll be exalted in due season, in due time. Humility is key. See, while everybody out there rah-rahing and coming down on him, and they was on his head and talking crazy and trying to ostracize him out the league and all this other stuff, and should he be traded and get rid of him? Now everybody got to eat humble pie. Everybody got to shh, because what? He stood on his square. He said, "I'm not taking that thing. I'm not backing down off of my comments. If y'all don't like it, do something." And what do they do? Oh, you're the number one guard, Kyrie. Same thing they gonna do with the children of Israel. We just come to the earth, bottom of the barrel, so forth and so on. We stand firm. We continue pushing the truth. We continue pushing the narrative that we are the chosen people of God. We're the people of the book. We're to keep the commandments and repent, so forth and so on. The nations are going to come back and they're going to start kissing cheeks, begging to be a part of the movement. Thus saith the Lord. Thus saith the Lord. Who's that, Shaq? Oh, you talking about uh uh Embiid? Yeah. That's what he pushing. That's what they pushing, man. You know, that's what they doing, man. That's what they doing, y'all. Unbelievable, man. But all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh Shah, man. We done made it through another episode. DSTN 178. Everybody good, man. Everybody solid in here, man. Isabella in the house. Shalom, shalom. Shabbat shalom. Did I miss anybody? Everybody good? All right, I'm gonna close out this episode then, man. It's a pleasure serving y'all today. We'll be back with our closing Shabbat class in a couple hours, 3 p.m. Pacific time. Tap in with us. Oh, before y'all go, man, check this out. Go to the description box on the YouTube channel. There you will see 2 links there. Hold on. Maybe I might have to help y'all out. Sometimes people say description. What's he talking about? I don't know. What? Huh? Okay. Um, Let me see something. Give me 1 second, y'all. Cause this is what I'm gonna need y'all to follow suit because there's going to be a need to go back. Okay. So when I say the description box, go in here, right? See here it says show more. These channels, and it will be in the description box of this particular video right here. When this live is over, I need y'all to go to these channels. Messenger of the Covenant Rebuild, Dry Bones TV. These are additional. These are new channels that's being established in the event that this one goes away. And trust me, they're working hard on trying to find something to get us up out of here. We only got one more chance. Next one, these channels are gone. So I need y'all to get over here, lock in on these two channels, subscribe. Very possibly all future DSTMs will be on Dry Bones TV. It won't be on the Messenger's Covenant of the Covenant anymore because of the controversial things that's happening. Most of the time, the strikes that occur are things that are results of DSTM, right? So when that happens, the main channel, the congregational channel, gets the brunt of it. So everything is compromised. So if you haven't done it already, all praises. I see some of y'all have already subscribed. All praises. The rest of y'all that's kind of lagging, get on over there or you will miss content in the near future. We're going to be adding on the content very soon, uploading past things to get some content on them channels, and then we're going to go from there. But just as we got to get this Underground Railroad thing cracking. So we got to keep digging another escape route because they are going to, if everything goes the way that they've been kind of moving, they're going to try to get rid of these channels, man. So to avoid that, we opened up a couple more other channels. Y'all come on in, subscribe over there so that you got outlets to catch us over there. Outside of that, got to be good until March. Most I permit, we make it through March without no more incidences. They're gonna take off the strikes, and we'll have a little bit more breathing room. But until then, we got to play nice and do what Massa says. Otherwise, man, you're gonna find us on those other channels. All right. So all praises, man. If you haven't subscribed, just subscribe over there, man. If you haven't wiped your feet, wipe them damn feet. All right. All praises, honor, and glory to the Most High. While you have a shot, man. Y'all be well, man. Enjoy the rest of your Shabbat. Lord willing, we'll catch y'all on our closing Shabbat class in about an hour and a half. All right. If not, see y'all on the next go round. Shalom.